Hello everyone, my name is Steve and this will be the first time I've ever done a YouTube tutorial. This time it's on a zombie makeup I did for this year's Halloween. So it'll start off with me after putting on a prosthetic, but we'll just go ahead and jump right into it and see how everything goes. As you can see on the right side of my face, I already have the zombie prosthetic applied to my face. I used a Stuart Bray mold that I got from Brick in the Yard supplies. I'll put the link down below. But the first thing we were doing right here, we were mixing up some liquid silicone to put onto my face for the lower jaw. This is also from Brick in the Yard mortar supply. So as you can see, it takes just a little bit to mix it up, and I think I messed up somewhat. So and here you can see we're just adding a little bit of the red pigment to it, and now just a little bit of the black to give it more of a darker muscle texture. And as you can see, I'm just spraying it on my face. I shaved down really quickly, so that way the silicone would not, rip out the hairs whenever I was done. But I think I messed up this first mix as well. I think that I didn't get the 1-to-1 ratio right, so I'm gonna probably end up taking this one off. I did put a little bit of thickener in there, but I don't think it worked. It was just too runny for me. Yeah, see, I'm just taking it off. It was way too runny. I think I got that mix wrong. So I went ahead and redid this one. Made sure the proportions were a little bit better. I was pouring out the big jugs, and obviously it didn't work out too well. Excuse my room for being so messy. It was a busy day at work and I had to get home, get my kids ready for their Halloween, and then get myself ready. So I just didn't really have the time to get everything cleaned up. I can see the consistency of this was just a little bit thicker, and it was a lot more easier to apply. It wasn't as runny. And here I'm just taking some fake nails that I got from Walmart in a kit that comes with a whole bunch of different sizes, and I squared them up to my teeth beforehand to make sure that they were the right size, and I'm just putting them on top of the liquid silicone right now. And here I'm just smoothing it out as best I can using a little bit of 99% isopropyl alcohol on the spatula. I'm just letting it set up, and then I'm going to mix up some more. And this way I'm going to spread it across the bottom of the teeth so that they actually set in there. And the bottom of the teeth don't look like nails. And as you can see, it held in there pretty well. Started to do the top with the remainder of the liquid silicone that I had. And it started to get started to stick to both my lips. So it was a little hard to talk and a little hard to get it all in one spot. But I managed to. And that picture was from last year. Now, I did originally make a prosthetic for my entire face using a life cast that I had. However, I felt that just after applying it, testing it out, it wasn't mobile enough for what I wanted to do, because I was going out to bars and, having cigarettes, so it wasn't really practical for me to use a prosthetic like that because it wasn't, gonna work. So I decided to use the liquid silicone on my face, which is fine. Just prepping the area, washing your face, making sure you have a clean work area. And again, I'm doing the same thing to the top teeth that I did to the bottom teeth down here. And again, just some isopropyl alcohol to smooth out the liquid silicone. And see, and I leave to go put in the contact lens that I got from my obstetrician. Again, I highly recommend doing that as opposed to buying the stuff online. Your eyesight is very important, so go get your eyes checked, make sure you get the right fit. If you've never put in a contact lens like myself, then your obstetrician can help you out with that. Again, it's taken me a bit because I've never actually put in contact lens, so it took me a while to get it actually to go in, fumbling around and worrying about doing it. But as you can see, got it nice and fine. And the reason why I'm doing this is the next step that I did was that I took a dugout eye prosthetic that I picked up from the Spirit Halloween store, applied a little bit of liquid latex around my eye socket where it was going to sit, and just applied it. And what I'm doing here first is just a little trick. You pull down your forehead with your fingers and then apply some liquid latex, and then make a face, raise your eyebrows. The liquid latex will dry and you'll get some nice wrinkles, and you can use them for putting on makeup, making it a little bit darker. Again, here I'm just applying liquid latex onto my eye and then putting the prosthetic on and letting that dry for a minute. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix up some more liquid silicone. And the problem that I had was this, is that the liquid silicone does not set pure over the latex eyepiece. So putting it thinner around there worked out a little bit better for me. And again, I'm just going across the nose and the eye and then the upper eyebrow. Again, this stuff has a working time about 3 to 5 minutes, so given the coverage area wasn't that important for me to go fast, but it started to go thicker the more I tried to get it onto that prosthetic because it kept just running. It's almost done. The bottom pieces have set already, and top pieces I'm just working on trying to fan them out again with another spatula and some alcohol to try to get them to mesh, or just trying to get them to fade into my skin well. here I made another batch of liquid silicone, add a little bit of the flesh tone pigment with a little bit of flocking to take out the shine, and I'm just applying it around the wound, building it up in the middle, and then just fanning it out into my skin so it looks natural. Here I'm just switching angles to see if I can get a better camera angle so you guys can see. Or I think I switch it back more towards the end. But this is my first tutorial ever, and this was an accident that I recorded, so maybe next time I'll get a better recording with a better angle. But I was also streaming this as well to a couple different websites, and I had close to 200 people watching. So I was talking as I was doing this and explaining to them how everything was working. Right, and here I just took a stipple brush, and as it was drying, just adding a little texture to the edges and to the end parts to make it do that. And here's where I start the actual makeup part, and I'm using a couple different palettes. First one I believe that I use is the Ben Nye Death Wheel. I'm also using the Ben Nye Zombie palette. And here I'm just doing the upper part of the eyelids with a dark red. And again, I'm horrible at makeup itself, so I did a lot of research and tutorials from other YouTubers. So if you want to know how to do them, just go with there. This is just how I did it. But I did with a red on the eyelid, then a light gray base, fanned the red into the light gray base, and then added a little bit darker gray towards the bottom, and then just kind of faded them into each other. Now, of course, there's a game in the background, but that was only because someone was complaining on the site that I was using that it wasn't orientated to where I was at. So I had to throw the game up in the background just to make it fair. Then I'm just using a little bit of baby powder on a brush to take down the shine of the liquid silicone since it had dried and it was just a little bit too shiny. And here I'm using the Skin Illustrator Zombie palette. Definitely need some 99% isopropyl alcohol to activate this. And with this one, I was just using a $2 chip brush that I picked up at Lowe's, and I cut the end off. And this was used to give more of a splatter type effect. But first, it looks like I'm putting down, I believe the color was rice paper, using just a latex-free sponge that I ripped pieces out of to give it more of a textured look. And here I think I'm using a little bit of the rice paper with the olive tone to bring it down just a little bit. And then I started using the chip brush to just start flaking on different colors. Again, this was mainly just the rice paper mixed with the brown along with the olive toner to kind of give the fresh dead look is what I was mainly going for, not so much rotted. And here I was using the Bang color with a very fine tip brush to give myself a little bit of veiny look on the top of my head, on the side, and on the neck. Again, just going back in with some of the brown and the rice paper wash. Here I go in with the death wheel to kind of give the darker accents on the prosthetic. I'm sorry for any of the background noise. And again, this part was what took the longest out of everything. It was just building up the washes in order to give it color depth. Picture is from last year, which turned out pretty good. It was just latex. This year I decided to go a little bit more and try the liquid silicone, which I think it turned out really well. And someone had asked me what I look like normally, so that's why that picture flashed. And here I went into the blood color. I believe this one was just the regular blood color, and started putting it on the outside. And this one was just a little bit finer brush with a little bit of the aged blood on it to go in there and kind of darken up the meatier parts. Then I decided it just wasn't dark enough on the edges, so I went in with the aged blood with a little bit of the black and gave it just a little bit darker tone where the skin was actually ripped off to give it a little bit more depth. At this point, I was actually just doing my hands. I completely forgot that. Then I did my hands as well. And here I'm just touching up some of the blood. At this point, I used the Benai dark scab and starts putting it in the areas that I wanted it darker and to look a little bit more fresh. And by the end of this, I was pretty happy with it. So, lots of compliments, lots of people taking pictures, and I was very happy with it. So, it ended up being great. Obviously, my technique is not perfect. However, it worked out very well. So, I was overall happy with it. But I definitely hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you around.